So we heard from Powell today, and it went as expected. Rates are staying low, and they're gonna stay low for a long time. And we did not see any moving closer to the taper situation. They said, we're not even thinking about rates yet again. And before we even start thinking about rates, we'll let the public know that we're gonna start thinking about raising rates. So not, hey, we're gonna start raising rates. Hey, public, we're gonna start raising rates. We're not raising rates yet, but we might in the future. We're not even at that situation yet. That's crazy. Rates are gonna stay low for a very long time. We have begun to see serious inflation that is undeniable despite the transitory terminology the Fed chair chooses to use. And it looks like that's gonna continue. So we have to expect that we're gonna remain in this highly stimulative, somewhat inflationary, enhanced quantitative easing environment for some extended period of time with no indication that that's going to end. However, I think there's two positives actually. I'm looking at this as a beneficial situation. I'm just trying to let you know that this is what the situation is. I think that there is one very unique aspect of this situation that has never been seen before. Normally, when we get ready for a rate hike, we experience what's called a taper tantrum. The Fed is going to raise rates. That's going to slow the economy. People aren't happy about that. And there's a sell-off in the market because all of a sudden there's a fundamental reason for the economy not to perform as well as was initially expected. However, we are now in a period of time where we're having the expectations of the tapering. Like, it could not be more obvious that it's going to have to happen at some point, and it keeps getting delayed and keeps getting delayed. And we're going to have a taper tantrum calming down period where he says, hey, just letting you know, we're going to think about raising rates in a couple months from now. So rather than what has previously happened, the Federal Reserve come out and just say, hey, we're raising rates starting now. That's not happening. It's the farthest from that happening. So I'm not necessarily expecting that stock sell-off. In addition, once rates actually do rise, I don't think it's going to have the same economic slowing effect that it normally has. It actually might have some sort of economic stabling effect because we're going to experience inflation, and interest rates should rise with inflation. And it is my expectation that the real rate on money borrowed is not going to increase, just the nominal rate. So the Federal Reserve is likely going to keep interest rates zero in real terms as inflation occurs, and there's no need for this taper tantrum, which has historically happened. And I view that as a bullish sign for the market. In addition, we are likely to get some inflation. We are going to continue having quantitative easing. We are still giving people free checks. There is certainly wage inflation. There's certainly consumer price and goods inflation, and that is only likely to continue. And that, in my opinion, is bullish for stocks. It expands earnings. We have seen this in the housing market. Inflation has not impacted demand there. Prices have risen, demand has risen. Input costs have risen, final sale prices have risen, demand has still risen. Why? There's so much liquidity. Well, what are we going to get more of? More liquidity and continued lower interest rates, which is stimulative for the economy. So I expect the market to keep ripping from this point. I was just on a call talking about all this technical analysis. People are saying that we are ready to set up for yet another face ripper rally. That what we just had the past couple weeks is going to happen again, and we are in some sort of consolidation period where the sellers and the profit takers are taking their profits, the buyers are taking a pause, and those dynamics are gonna run out. And then all of a sudden, we're gonna go back to the fundamental buyers again. And the rally's just gonna continue. And it's fine for that to happen when we're in such a highly stimulative and inflationary environment with a relatively strong reopening economy. So I'm sitting pretty here. I think you should too. And we'll see what happens. So until next time, peace out.